Hey guys! Welcome to the PlanTito channel and I'm your PlanTito Earl. And today, ang pag-uusapan natin are the top 5 challenges that beginner plant parents would be facing. And then, make sure to watch all the way to the end of the video kasi may bago tayong pakulo. So, let's get it started. So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to the PlanTito channel where we talk anything and everything about plants. So before we begin, I want to thank everyone for always watching, for subscribing. We finally reached more than 100 subscribers. For some, sobrang liit lang na number na yun, but to me, that means a lot. Kasi that means I already have a custom YouTube URL, so you can just type youtube.com/PlanTitoEarl to go directly to my channel. Hindi nyo na kailangan ng mga labo-labong numbers and letters just to watch my videos. And speaking of watching, thank you for watching today's video. And if you haven't, please make sure to subscribe so that you will be notified on my next videos. If you like this video, please like it. If you have questions that you want me to answer, if you have in relation to the last pakulo that we will be doing later, let me know in the comment section down below. And make sure to also like and follow me on social media. I have a Facebook and Instagram page. So let's get on with our topic, which are the 5 challenges that beginner plant parents might face and how we can, and I will also be giving you maybe tips or ideas on how you can possibly overcome them, or at least how I overcame them. These 5 challenges, these are the ones I was able to experience. Some I've overcome, some I'm still trying to overcome, and you may or may not relate to all of them. Ako personally, I'm not a botanist, I'm not a horticulturist, I'm not a biologist. So all the things that I just learn things as I go when it comes to taking care of my plants. I'm a marketing guy. I don't have any idea about sciences. So most of the things that I know are based on experience, on personal experience, and on research, which we'll be tackling later on in one of the challenges. So let's get started with the challenges. Oh, but before that, again, I mentioned earlier, may bago tayong pakulo sa vlog natin. So please do watch all the way till the end. I think ma-enjoy nyo tong pakulo na to kasi kahit ako na-enjoy ko siya nung ginagawa ko siya or nung sinusulat ko siya. Basta, that's already a hint on what it is. So for challenge number 1, to prevent yourself or para pigilan yung sarili mo the urge to immediately repot your plants. Now, most of us naman, kaya tayo may halaman or part of the reason bakit tayo naghahalaman is for decorative purposes. And kumbaga, the pots that your plants would come in is actually highlights or maybe even improves the decorative aspect of your plants. Kaya natin sila binibili. Ako personally, hindi naman ako maselan when it comes to pots. Although there are some pots that I have, or there are some plants that I have potted before. And that's completely fine that you want to put your plants in great pots kasi kumbaga, they look so much better with the right pot. But yun nga, ang challenge dun is when you immediately repot them, you're not giving them the time to acclimate. Acclimate meaning making them adjust to their new environment. Personally, I would recommend wag nyo muna siyang i-repot. Give it a couple of days. Normally, in my case, I'd give it about a week or 2 before I try and repot my plants. Kasi it's very important to let them acclimate. Just keep them in their nursery pot or their nursery bag. Kasi the thing is, by purchasing the plant, you're already putting it in so much stress. Kukunin mo siya from the seller. For example, QC Circle ka bibili. Or even from an online seller. I-relocate mo siya. Now, in the relocation process, dadaan yan sa transport, whether ipapagrab mo or ipapadeliver mo or personally mo siya kukunin, and then mag-adjust pa siya to the new environment that it's in. Tapos, pag i-repot mo pa siya agad, once you come to your new place, that's another additional stress to your plant. Kasi mag-adjust ulit siya sa bagong medium niya. An example of that is this Philodendron. Oh my god, it's really heavy. This Philodendron Dark Lord. Sobrang ganda niya. Look at that. It's so dark. It's so nice. Yes, it's in a pot, but let's just put it down kasi ang bigat ng it's a concrete pot. And I'm planning to put it here. But it's still in its nursery bag where it came in. This was delivered to me a couple of days ago. So I'm still giving it a few more days to acclimate to its new environment, to its new place, before I actually repot it in this big concrete pot right here. So it's always a good idea to put it like that. Para again, gusto nating iwasan na ma-stress yung mga halaman nyo or dagdagan yung stress na pinagdadaanan nila when you initially take them into your new place. Better if you put them outside muna or somewhere where it's bright or fairly similar to the previous situation that it was in. So that's challenge number 1. To overcome that, just leave it in the nursery bag or nursery pot that it came in. Give it about a week or 2 to acclimate to your new place. And then now we move on to challenge number 2. Challenge number 2 is trying to treat each plant the same way. Sometimes it can't be helped kasi nga we also have other aspects of our lives. Di lang naman tayo nag-aalaga ng halaman. For some of us, we're working. Some of us may families that we have to look out for. We have kids and all that. In my case, I have a pet cat pero hindi naman siya makalagain. Times when it comes to taking care of our plants, we have to come up with a schedule. Some of us have watering schedules. Ako before I started with having a Sunday as a watering schedule kasi Sunday is medyo maluwag ko na day. And I guess it's also human nature to try to treat things as equally as possible. For example, if you have kids, I'm sure you want to give them equal amounts of love para walang favoritism kumbaga. But in plants kasi it's very different kasi each plant, iba-iba sila ng care needs. They may be the similar type of plant. They may come from the same family, from the same from the same order, or even the same species. But each one has different care needs. So you have to treat each plant differently. Okay lang na meron kang watering schedule, but make sure, not just because you need to water, make sure that your plant needs to be watered. Yun. So, for example, I have a perfect example for that. I have this golden pothos and this Philodendron Brazil. They're both aeroids, meaning they produce aerial roots, and somewhat related sila, pero yun nga, this one is a philodendron, this is a Philodendron cordatum, I think that's the I'm not sure, and then this is an Epipremnum aureum. Now they have similar characteristics. In this case, the Brazil and the golden pothos, they can trail really well, they climb really well. They have medyo heart-shaped leaves, if you can see. Yan. So this is the pothos and this is the Brazil. But they have slightly different care needs. Now with the pothos, this guy is actually one of the easiest plants that you can take care of, that you can take home with you. These guys are very versatile. Put them anywhere, they will thrive. Just make sure that ang main difference siya with the philodendron, in terms of watering, they want to dry out completely, or they prefer to dry out completely before you water them again. Meanwhile, ang philodendron, like this Brazil right here, they prefer a slightly moister soil. So you'd more likely be watering this guy more often than the pothos. And this guy can actually tolerate any kind of light. Ngayon, nakalagay siya outside, outside by my door. It's in an east-facing window, so it gets a lot of great morning sunlight. Kaya sobrang lush niya na. Ang dami ko lang naputol na cuttings from this. And they're not burning, so that's actually great. Meanwhile, si philodendron, they don't do so well under direct bright sunlight kasi it would really burn their leaves. This one's able to take it more kasi it has waxier leaves, I think, as compared to the philodendron. They may have similar care, but they have different care requirements, kumbaga. So you have to treat each plant differently. Ikaw as a plant parent, ikaw ang mag-a-adjust sa halaman mo. Water it when the plant needs it, not because you need to water. So that's for challenge number 2. Now we move on to challenge number 3, not asking enough questions. Basically, this deals with informing yourself about the plants that you have. There's actually 2 parts to this. Never be afraid to ask questions. Huwag kayong mahihang magtanong. And don't be afraid na i-question ng information that you're getting. We'll get to that later. Let's start with huwag mahiyang magtanong. For example, when you're about to buy a plant, one of the first things that you have to know is the name of the plant. And don't be afraid to ask the seller kung ano ang pangalan ng plant, because that will be very crucial in making sure that you are providing the proper care for your plant as you go along with your research. Again, different plants have different needs. So you have to be able to identify what the plant is so that you'll be able to identify what the plant needs. And there are several ways to go about with this. One is you can ask the seller directly. The sellers naman are fairly knowledgeable. about the plants. But then, hindi maiiwasan na sometimes, and I don't mean to be snobbish or or mapagmataas dito, there are some sellers na mali-mali yung pangalan nila. So, it's your role as a plant parent to make sure na tamang pangalan ang meron ka about your plant. There are ways that you can find out. One is ask the seller. Two, there are also available apps. I'm using an app now, pero it's fairly inaccurate, so you really have to cross-check. You can also use Google Lens. It's a free app. Just tutok nyo lang yung plant nyo and it will be able to identify, or at least try to identify what the plant is. But again, always do additional research, especially kung masyado sila magkaiba. Don't trust right away kung ano yung ibibigay sa'yo na pangalan ng plant, ng app, or ng seller. And that goes on the second point for this. Don't be afraid to question the information that's made available. Now, in the digital age, ang dami ng information within your fingertips. You can just do a Google search, but make sure you Google search responsibly. You make sure to double check everything kasi nga baka maging fatal error yun for you. Na, for example, identify mo yung plant mo as this certain plant, but then it turns out it's ganito pala. For example, a good example for that is fairly related sila and fairly magkamukha. The colocasia versus the alocasia. Now, I have here, what I have here is this alocasia. This is an alocasia colculata. Alocasia and the colocasia, which I'll show you a footage of the colocasia I have, but I'm still trying to grow it. They're fairly similar. Kumbaga para silang first cousins. They have fairly similar traits. They have fairly similar looks. But then, care requirements, dun sila nagkakaiba. Si alocasia, they're great for indoor plants because they're fairly compact. I mean, they can grow big but not as big as the colocasia. And they also prefer drying out in between waterings. And they're fine with bright indirect light or even lower sometimes. Meanwhile, si alocasia, they'd really prefer direct, bright sunlight. They will thrive in that. And then they would be fine with overwatering, or you can give them as much water as they can. Kasi nga, especially if you're putting them outside, they need as much water as they can so that they don't dry out. So see, dun pa lang, you really have to double check the information that you have on your plants. Madaling malin lang, and you don't want that to happen. That might cost you your plant's life. So yun, so that's about questioning. That's challenge number 3, not asking enough questions. Again, in order to overcome that, huwag mahiyang magtanong. Feel free to ask anything. There's information available. Just make sure that you cross-check and double-check the information that you have. Our next challenge, or challenge number 4 for beginner plant parents, is babying your plants too much, or you take too much care. Now, ako personally, na-experience ko to, lalo na mga first few weeks or months when I first brought my new plant. Grabe ako katutok sa mga halaman ko, as in, I don't get them out of my sight. Tipong helicopter parenting, kumbaga. Yung attention mo, nakatuon lang dun sa plants mo, which is fine, but personally, it wouldn't work kasi it might lead you to doing things too much. In my case, yung nag-experience ko dyan, it led to me overwatering and over-fertilizing my plants, which cost me a lot of leaves and heck, even some plants. Don't be a helicopter parent. Allow your plants to independently grow. Just give them the care when they need it. These plants in the wild, wala naman silang tao. Wala namang tao to help them out. Wala namang tao na magdidilig sa kanya. Walang taong magfa-fertilize sa kanya, walang taong magpapaaraw sa kanya. So try to give them that kind of independence or space. Kasi that's how plants are. They adapt to thrive and survive. And they can do that on their own. Syempre, if you put them in an indoor environment, kaya lang naman may extra care because you're trying to give them or trying to match the previous environment or the natural environment that these plants came from. So yun, so basically that's challenge number 4, babying your plants too much. Ang solution dyan, huwag kayong maging helicopter parent. Allow them to grow independently and just give them the care when they need it. And then the last challenge, which personally is the biggest challenge for me kasi kahit hanggang ngayon, nahihirapan pa rin akong gawin siya. Challenge number 5 is learning to let go. Now, this has something to do with our perception or trying to make sure that our plants will be always perfect and pristine. Siguro that's brought about by social media. Lalo na ngayon na plants are such a big thing. So you always get to see, perfect looking plants, misted, parang photo shoot, ganda ng lighting, ganda ng mga dahon and all that. But you always have to remember, plants will never always be perfect. Yes, it might come to a point that it will be at its peak of perfection. You know, the foliage is so thick, all the leaves are looking so perfect. It will be flowering, it could bear fruits and all that. But that will eventually end. I mean, it's inevitable. Kahit tao naman eh. Kahit anong hayop or kahit anong living thing, they will reach that prime perfection, but that won't last for too long. Leaves will start to get brown, they will start to yellow, will start to dry out, and eventually fall off. That's completely natural. It's part of their life cycle. Although, my contribution dyan siguro the care that you give it. You may not give it enough or too much sunlight, or same with water and fertilizer and all that. But generally, when you're fairly confident naman that you're giving them the correct care, if the leaves still die out, that's a natural process. That's fine. Huwag kayong magpanic. Older leaves need to make room for new leaves. So sometimes they really have to die out. My perfect example for that is this guy right here. This is my Philodendron glorious. It has two really beautiful leaves. Super velvety, super perfect. Ganda ng color nila, ganda ng size, ganda ng shape. It's so perfect. My two new growths coming in. But behind it is this, their oldest leaf, I presume, because it's the biggest leaf. It's yellowing. It's about to die. It's about to let go. Okay, a good sign that it's not because of your care or improper care. A good sign is the oldest leaf is the one that goes first. So that means it's old enough and it's trying to make way for new growth. And if you watched my previous video on beginner plant tools, I mentioned there about pruning. Don't be afraid to prune your plants kasi it's not as counterproductive as you think. This yellow leaf, hindi na ito magiging green. Hindi na siya marirevive. It will start to yellow all around. Right now, mayroon pa siyang green specks. But later on, wala na to. It will brown, it will die. So, to take it out of its misery, you have to prune this. And yun ang ating gagawin ngayon kasi this is the challenge that I personally find so difficult to deal with. Kasi nga, especially this case, this is, let's face it, medyo mahal itong Philodendron glorious na to. So, I feel like it's such a waste if puputulin ko siya, but it definitely needs it. So, I'm gonna do it now on this vlog. I'm trying to overcome this challenge of learning to let go, especially of old leaves. So, I have my sanitized scissors here. Kasi yung pruning shears ko are too small for these. And I'm gonna trim this off for the benefit of this plant. It would be very difficult. Kahit ako nahirapan ako. Ang dami ko na sinasabi, I should be cutting this right now, but so let's just get this over with. So, oh my god. Okay, no joke to, hindi ako nag-acting just for this vlog. It's really hard to do. It's one of the challenges of these 5 challenges. Ito yung pinakamahirap, nahirapan lang gawin. So, oh my god, it's so... Oh. Whew. That was hard. Okay. Inawisa na ako dun, sorry. Ang bango ng stock niya. At least you get to learn more about your plants. So now, we're down to 2 leaves, but I think this, pruning this guy was actually very helpful. Kasi ba pag-giveaway ko to? Pwede ko pag-giveaway if you wanna take it. I'm keeping it though, but you know, if gusto na siyang kunin, go ahead. I've thankfully somehow learned a little bit more on the art of letting go. Because, again, this plant will need it. Now that I've trimmed it off, some of its energy will now go to these 2 other leaves so that they can grow even more, and then to these new shoots. I'm just going to show you footage. I don't know if you can see it. There's a new shoot right there beside this smaller one. So, yeah. So, that's for challenge number 5, the art of letting go. How you can overcome that challenge, just do it because your plant needs it. Sometimes, not all the time naman. You don't have to trim all your plants just because my slight imperfection, that's it. So yeah, try not to think of plants as perfect things. There'll always be imperfections. Learn to let go. So yun, so those are our 5 challenges for beginner plant parents just like me. And most probably ikaw din. So hopefully, you're able to relate to these challenges. Again, some of these you may not be able to relate to kasi or you've already overcome. or maybe all of them you're currently dealing with. So hopefully I was able to help you guys in overcoming those challenges. Since this was a rather challenging topic to deal with, literally and figuratively, we're going to end this on a lighter note. Like I told you before, may bago tayong pakulo sa mga vlog natin. So what we're going to do, or ang bago kong naisip, which I hope that you guys will enjoy. Doon natatawa na ako just thinking about it. Anyway, I hope you guys will enjoy this. I'm going to present to you PlanTito jokes. So PlanTito jokes, this is actually as it's in the name naman, it's coming from the concept of tito jokes, which are normally corny jokes from your titos. There's some wit to it, there's some wit to it, kasi it's fairly related to whatever it is the joke is about. And in this case, since we're a plant vlog, we're going to do PlanTito jokes, well, basically about plants. So yeah, hindi ko na masyado intro kasi, as you know, when you further explain a joke, it kills it. So let's just go on to PlanTito joke number 1. PlanTito joke number 1. Anong halaman ang ginagamit na madalas sa bahay? Ano? Ako na lang, di ba? Ano? Eddie, furniture. Cringe ba? Sorry. PlanTito joke number 2. Anong halaman ang kayang magpatakbo ng kabayo? Ano? Eddie, makahiya! God. Sobrang tito joke na mga to. Last na, 3 lang. Let's just do 3 for this vlog. PlanTito joke number 3. Anong halaman ang diva na kayang sumipol at bumirit? Ano? Eddie, Marhoya Carey. Anyway, so yon. I just wanted to end this vlog on a lighter note. And if may magaganda kayong PlanTito jokes, let me know in the comment section down below. Or you can send them to me in my social media pages. I'll be glad to feature them kasi I'm sure na cornyhan kayo doon. Just makatulo ko doon, promise. But yeah, if you have other PlanTito jokes that you'd like to share to everyone, to the plant community, both here in the Philippines and worldwide, let me know. Feature natin yan, and I'll do my best to deliver it the best way that I can. So hopefully you guys learned something new today aside from the fact na medyo corny yung mga PlanTito jokes ko. Promise, gagawa ako ng mas marami pang mas okay. So yun, hopefully by learning these challenges or by being aware of these challenges, you can actually be able to slowly overcome them if you're currently experiencing them. That's the primary goal of a plant parent. Overcome these challenges and making sure that you're able to give the plants the proper care that they need para mas lumago sila, mas lumaki sila, mas dumami sila, magbunga sila if it's a fruit or flower-bearing plant that you have. So yun, so thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Hopefully di kayo nakornihan sa akin at di kayo nabawasan ng respeto sa akin. So yun, thank you so much for watching today's vlog and hope to see you soon. I'll be coming up with a new video next week. So thank you guys and have a great day. Bye-bye.